Op regrets his relationship with a single mother. I am not the op. This is a repost. Original post. On our relationship advice. February 13, 2023. I, 30M, am in a relationship with a single mom. 27F. And I regret it. I started this relationship 2 years ago when I was 28. Due to the 1-hour drive, we only see each other on the weekends. She has her son MF and the weekends dad gets her son. 7 yo. I really only see him on Sunday nights when he gets dropped. I was always nice to her son. I would play Minecraft and take him out. Even went on vacation with her and him a couple of times. But I'm not going to lie, I never loved the idea of dealing with him. Despite my attempts at treating him like my own, he has proven time and time again that he's just a difficult kid to deal with. I want to keep this post short, so I'll spare the details. But the problem is that recently he's been with us every weekend and I'm starting to get a clearer view into my future with her and her son. I have zero time to myself. There's no sex. Haven't had it in over a month. And I find myself hiding in the bathroom just to get a moment's peace. I no longer look forward to my weekends, I actually look forward to Monday because at least after work I have a few hours to myself for some peace. I'm starting to realize what my future is looking like and it horrifies me. I tried having a conversation with my girl about it a few times, but it always seems to lead to an argument. It's like I have all the responsibilities of a parent, but none of the authority. I really love my girlfriend and we have such a good relationship outside of her son. But now I think it's time for me to end it. I just feel completely awful about the whole thing because I knew she was a single mother before I got into this relationship. But I kept ignoring red flags and kept telling myself it would get better. But it hasn't. It just kept getting worse. I feel like I wasted both of our time, but I'm just having trouble letting go. Every time I think about ending it, I get scared that I'll miss her too much. But deep down I know that I have to. Any advice or anyone else go through this before? Edit. Thanks everyone. I appreciate all the comments. I just wanted to clarify that the red flags were not her being a mother. Although her parenting style isn't one I endorse completely, so I guess that could be a red flag. But I'm just saying I ignored the red flags that involved other aspects of single motherhood that are not exactly her fault. For example, her son's father is a deadbeat and doesn't support their son financially at all, so I know that burden would fall on my shoulders completely if we were to stay together. Something I really didn't consider going into it. Should have been obvious, I know. But we all make mistakes. I have nothing but love for her and will make an update post once I have the conversation with her very soon. Notable comments. Listen, if you feel like that, get out. Save yourself. Move on. It will sting, but ultimately you will be happier. As a step-parent myself to a very difficult child, it never gets easier. There is literally no happiness in our home anymore. And I have 3 of my own kids who are miserable as well. I wish I had not ignored some red flags. You cannot love someone through these kinds of situations. Link. https www.reddit.com/r/relationship advice/comments/111d00s/comments/j8dxddc/ UTM source equals share and UTM medium equals web2x and context equals 3. Oop replies. Thanks. I've already started speaking to a therapist and I'm working on getting out for good real soon. Her and I actually just started a break because of all the stress I've been feeling from the relationship. I don't see much value in a sexless relationship with a mom that I have to help raise her kid who I have to lose all my free time to. I just hate feeling like the bad guy. But I guess I just have to accept that and move on. I'm writing this as a single parent. You aren't doing anything wrong by leaving the relationship. Here's the thing. My child always comes first. That's my job as a parent. If the person I was dating felt the way you do, which are valid feelings, it may sting when they ended things, but I would respect it because I want my child to see a healthy relationship. I would never expect a step-parent to 100% treat my child as their own. Although that would be amazing. You're right. It's hard and it doesn't tend to get easier. It just changes. I also resort myself to another room from time to time just to get a few minutes of silence. It's normal. All three of you deserve a functioning relationship without resentments. If this relationship isn't working for you, you're all better off without it. Dating a single parent can be very tough. Link https www.reddit.com relationship advice, comments, 111 do, comment, J8EZ cuff. UTM source equals share and UTM medium equals web 2x and context equals 3. Update post. On our relationship advice. March 7, 2023. I, 30M, have ended my relationship with a single mother. 27F. Update. Long story short, I told her I was unhappy. I asked if I could have some time to myself, maybe one weekend a month I can stay home. She said no. It's all or nothing with us. I offered her couples therapy and even told her I'd pay for the entire thing. She refused, said she already has enough therapy. I told her then we need to end it. It was an awful conversation and there was tons of crying until she just hung up on me. A little backstory. She's been through terrible trauma in her life and I was worried she might not be okay because she's still dealing with some of it. Anyway, I was worried about her, but she refused to talk to me. Wouldn't answer calls or texts. I figured it was just over now and I need to leave her alone. The next morning I get a text from her asking me to come get my stuff I had left there. I told her just throw it all out. The stuff wasn't worth me going over there because it would be too hard to see her now. She basically said please just come get your stuff, I don't want to look at it anymore either. And she said this will be the last time we will see each other, so let's say goodbye. I agreed and drove over there. When I got there I was met with a pile of my stuff. I started taking trips bringing it down to my car. When I went to get the last of my stuff I saw her sitting on the kitchen floor just crying. I sat next to her for a while not saying anything. She kinda made a move where she moved away from me a few inches. I looked at her and said, I should probably go. Huh? She nodded her head. I got up and as I was leaving I just said to her, I just wished you didn't think I was a horrible person. She started yelling from the floor about how she did nothing wrong and whatnot. I couldn't take the yelling. I said goodbye and left. As I was walking down the hallway I was haunted by the sounds of her crying so loud I could hear it very clear. As I left her building and got into my car she called me. She was upset that I didn't want to talk. But I explained to her there wasn't anything left to talk about. She kept going on and on about how awful I was and not doing the right thing, etc. And she refused to take any blame. At this point I'm already on the highway about 15 minutes away from her apartment when she asks me to come back inside to talk. I told her no, I am already leaving. She started crying and begging me to turn around and talk. I said, I am sorry. I am so sorry, and I hung up the phone. First time I've ever done that to her. But she's hung up on me over a dozen times. She started immediately blowing up my phone. I couldn't deal with it, I was losing my mind. So I just turned the phone off. I left it off for a day and when I turned it on I saw a few short texts and missed calls. I immediately just went ahead and blocked her. I don't know if I did the right thing. I feel so damn terrible about this whole thing. I want to be there for her. Hearing her cry killed me inside. But I know me being there for her will just rope me back into the relationship that I was no longer wanting to be in, even though I still love her. And in fact I am still in love with her. But it's too much. I know I won't be happy. She wrote me 2 emails since she figured out she was blocked. I haven't read them yet. I can see they addressed in letter format, but I don't have the strength to read them at this time. This whole thing sucks. Hopefully this doesn't get automatically taken down. Anyway, thanks everyone, and if you have advice on how to get through this, that would be very helpful. Thanks. Edit. I never thought this would get so much attention. This has been the most difficult thing I've dealt with in my life, so thank you all so much for the kind words. It has all helped out tremendously. Last night I ended up reading the letters she sent me before I looked at this post again. And the first letter was super apologetic. Actually made me tear up. It was very sweet and it made things really difficult. Then I read the second letter, which was sent 12 hours after the first one, and it was more blame. She was venting about all the things I did wrong, etc. In retrospect, I should not have read either of the letters. But the first letter reminded me of the good times. And then the second one reminded me why I broke up with her in the first place. So I am glad she wrote the second one, because if it was just the first one, then who knows what I'd be feeling right now. Anyway, I am going to continue to be strong and block her on any other methods she tries contacting me with. She even started calling me from her work phone number. I didn't answer, but I googled it and confirmed that had to be her. I blocked that number as well. Top comment. So she didn't want to give you a weekend off, and instead she gave you a lifetime off. Honestly, I could see why she would feel like she wants all or nothing from you. But she has a child that isn't yours. She should have the skills to rationalize why you would want a weekend off sometimes. I've never dated a girl with a kid, so I can't relate too heavily, but it seems just from this here that you are empathetic and rational. And you gave her every chance to have a real conversation, and she was just emotionally distraught the entire time. I think after all of that, blocking and moving on completely is probably a decent choice. Leaving wiggle room for conversation won't be healthy for either of you. Link https www.reddit.com/r/relationship advice/comments/11l70r2/comment/jbat0cc/ UTM source equals share and UTM medium equals web2x and context equals 3. Note: please do not comment or reach out to op. It is against the rules. #friendly reminder that I am not the op. This is a repost. Tough spot to be in. Glad he ripped off the band-aid. First time he hung up the phone. But she's done it dozens of times. That takes me back. Glad that guy is out of my life. Not concluded. I just came across this. https www.reddit.com/r/breakups/comments/11q86v/awasthadumperund. I've been having a really UTM source equals share and UTM medium equals iOS app and UTM name equals iOS SMF. Sorry, I don't know if this is the right way to do this. Kids are forever. Op stayed 2DANM long. I hope now he understand more about himself and don't repeat the same mistake again. Guys burying the lead on all the issues this woman has. He dodged a meteor-sized bullet. I feel like I've been both people in this situation. Never again. That's the smartest thing you can do. Block and move on. I really wish people would understand that it's okay to really like someone, while still acknowledging that a relationship with them isn't right for you. There doesn't have to be a right and wrong party in a breakup. There doesn't need to be a good guy or a bad guy. You can just say, I really like them, but this isn't the right relationship for me. I don't know why people fight so hard to stay in such self-evidently terrible situations. Her feelings of hurt may be genuine at his inability to deliver what she feels she is owed. But that doesn't mean it's reasonable for her to demand it. Nor does it mean he's wrong to preserve himself. Thank heavens he brought an end to it. The letters just about sealed it. Poor guy. Like he said, the whole thing sucks from the sound of it. Really unfortunate how trauma can affect people so deeply. If that's where her issues are coming from. We're only hearing one side of things, of course, and it's just his understanding of it. And that she couldn't accept any blame or responsibility for it. From, I'd guess, her perspective, it'd be understandable to want to talk more though. But from his, it's understandable to want the opposite. All around not a good time for anyone involved. You don't really need an excuse or reason to leave a dating relationship that makes you miserable. He did the right thing for his mental health. I have nothing more to say. Sounds like she indeed needed more therapy. He says that they were talking about marriage and having their own children. But his entire problem was not having enough time to himself. What exactly did he think having his own children was going to be like? Did he think having more children would mean more time to himself? And I understand that she didn't handle it exactly well. But the entire time they were together, he was leading her to believe that they were building a future. When in reality the future he wanted was to only be a parent during the week. And it sounds like he doesn't even really like the kid. But he didn't do anything about that. He just stayed in the relationship despite not liking the kid. Because he didn't have to deal with him on the weekends. He let things drag out. Which made it that much worse for the mom and child. All because he was afraid of what it would feel like to break up. I find it hard to feel sorry for someone like that. Well, she seems a bit manipulative. All freedoms and privileges for her. None for him. Only responsibilities. He asks for some alone time. She just went ahead and denies it. Makes sure to cry extra loud when he leaves to make sure he hears it and feels bad. No self-reflection whatsoever. No willingness to compromise. He feels bad about hanging up when she did it constantly. This guy will be glad he ended it. This reminds me of my parents. My dad moved out a few years back because he felt like he and my mom stopped being husband and wife. And started being roommates. He tried convincing her to do couples therapy. But she refused. Saying there was nothing wrong. Looking back in hindsight, my mother was a very selfish woman. Her mother is no better. In fact, my grandma is a horrible person. Oop was right to get out. If she wasn't willing to compromise on this, she was never going to compromise on anything. That's not healthy in a relationship. So much better that Oop realized that this relationship is not for him or her. There's nothing wrong with a person realizing that they're not step parent material, and it's better to realize that before they become a step parent. I asked if I could have some time to myself, maybe one weekend a month I can stay home. She said no, even before the insanity. This is a huge red flag she's waving right in OOP's face. Yeah, old boy absolutely did the right thing. This woman wanted him to shoulder the burden of being a parent, and it absolutely is a burden. When it was clear he was drowning and needed her to cut him some slack, she refused. My guess is that she's been feeling overwhelmed as well. But she's got no real way out in her eyes. And the idea of him taking the proverbial lifeboat just caused her despair. I do honestly feel sorry for her. Because it sounds like she's in a real state. I hope she's able to find some peace. I'm curious what the kid's deal is. Op says, difficult. The activities seem like they aren't severely disabled or anything. But for a 7-year-old to require basically 24/7 supervision from 2 adults is pretty drastic. That's an age where they could totally have friends and do sleepovers and stuff too. So the kid either has no friends, or the friends' parents refuse to deal with them.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.